Jurors at this hour are deliberating in the trial of Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan. Dugan is accused of helping an undocumented immigrant evade ICE agents. Here's what we know about the jurors at this hour. 7 men and 5 women are deliberating. All are white. Now, one alternate juror was dismissed, bringing that total to 12. Prosecutors charged Dugan with 1 felony count of obstructing or impeding a proceeding before a department or agency of the United States. Now, and 1 misdemeanor count of concealing an individual to prevent his discovery and or arrest. Now, jurors have the option of finding her guilty on both counts, neither count, or guilty of one and not guilty of the other. Now, the defense presented just 4 witnesses, all taking the stand in less than an hour this morning. They included 2 Milwaukee County judges, a Milwaukee public defender, and former Mayor Tom Barrett. Now, Barrett, a lifelong friend of Judge Dugan, who was brought in as a character witness. He described the judge as, quote, extremely honest. Judge Dugan herself did not testify. At this point, we want to bring in 12 News political director Matt Smith. He's been inside the courtroom all week long, and he joins us now. Matt, both sides making their final arguments to jurors.
And right now, the jurors are deliberating. They just had a second question come in as the gravity of this pending verdict from inside, from the courtroom documents, from everything tonight. Deliberations underway. The prosecution, in their final attempt in these final hours this afternoon, attempting to paint Judge Hannah Dugan as an activist judge who broke the law that day. The defense tonight calling this a case of government overreach.
Federal prosecutors tonight addressing the elephant in the room. I want to acknowledge something openly and honestly, the assistant U.S. attorney told the jury. Immigration enforcement is a polarizing issue. But it's not ICE on trial, she said, but rather what happens when someone with the highest duty to uphold the law decides it doesn't apply to her. Prosecutors told the jury Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan intentionally directed as many agents as she could to the chief judge's office that morning. So the coast is clear for what prosecutors called the escape route, the restricted hallway never used by criminal defendants. The smoking gun, prosecutors said, the conversation between Dugan and her court reporter captured on courtroom audio. Down the stairs, Dugan is heard saying, according to prosecutors, "Do you want me to show them, or does she know?" The court reporter responded. "I'll do it," Dugan said, according to prosecutors. "I'll get the heat." Prosecutors telling the jury, in the end, it doesn't matter. Eduardo Flores Ruiz and his attorney exited through the public hallway. Dugan's defense team, though, in closing arguments this afternoon, telling jurors the federal government is trying to make an example of Hannah Dugan. To act like this is Judge Dugan going out on a limb for Eduardo Flores Ruiz, give me a break. That did not happen, the defense team said. She is a law-abiding citizen. She's honest. The defense giving jurors a detailed timeline of what they say Dugan did in those critical 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Then pointing to the testimony of fellow judge Cristela Cervera, who was in the hallway that day, critical of Dugan's actions. "I don't know if she was lying," the defense said of her testimony, "but I could give you some reasons why she might. I'm certain she felt like she was a target. I'm certain she wanted to throw Judge Dugan under the bus, and she did."
Certainly a lot for jurors to hear today and see inside the courtroom. And Matt, right now the jury is still deliberating at this hour with several questions.
About 2.5 hours in, they just came in with their second question. My understanding is Judge Edelman is considering at this point. The defense and prosecution are fighting about how to respond to it. 12 News' Hannah Hilliard, TJ Dysart in the courtroom as we speak right now. This first question centered around a document that ICE put out in terms of their procedures when they go into a courthouse. The second question is a little more technical, and hence the fighting centered around whether Judge Dugan needed to know the name Eduardo Flores Ruiz in terms of these administrative warrants. A lot of technicalities when a lot of video was shown, a lot of audio was shown. Read into it what you will in terms of what the jury may be thinking. Both the defense and prosecution sure are at this point. But what we do know is we are 2.5 hours in. There is no verdict, and we are uncertain tonight how late this jury will go.